You ever thought about what love really is? I mean, it's this force that can like make people do the craziest things, defy all logic, and it can totally upend your world.
Oh, absolutely. It's fascinating how this one emotion can be so powerful, so intense, right? Like it can drive people to make choices that seem completely irrational from the outside.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes those choices can have really, really huge consequences. And that's actually what we're going to be diving into today.
I'm intrigued. Let's hear it.
So we're taking a deep dive into this play called The Mayor of Gweru by Quint Kamba. And it really digs deep into the idea of love. Like what happens when love clashes with societal rules and like these really deeply rooted traditions.
The May of Gweru, okay, I'm not familiar with that one. But those themes definitely sound pretty universal.
Yeah, for sure. Like when you hear those words forbidden love or like fate and sacrifice, it kind of takes you back to those classic tragedies, right? Like Romeo and Juliet or Antony and Cleopatra.
Totally. Those stories have resonated with people for centuries. I mean, there's a reason why those themes are so timeless.
Exactly. But here's the thing. The May of Gweru, while it definitely touches on those universal themes, it's also like super grounded in a specific place and time. It's a Zimbabwean story through and through.
Got it. So it's not just about love in the abstract. It's about how love plays out in a particular cultural and social context.
Exactly. And that context is the city of Gweru in Zimbabwe.
Gweru, okay, so what's Gweru like?
So Gweru is this place where like tradition and modernity are kind of constantly bumping up against each other, and you have these really rigid class structures, and then there's this feeling of destiny, like things are almost preordained.
So it's not exactly a setting where love can just blossom freely.
Not exactly, and the play really highlights that by like immediately showing us these two totally different worlds that exist side by side in Gweru. On the one hand, you have this world of wealth and privilege where people have power and they can kind of make things happen.
And on the other
On the
hand,
other hand, you have this world of poverty and struggle. People are just trying to survive day to day, and they have dreams, but it often feels like those dreams are really out of reach.
so these two worlds, they're in Gweru, but they're not really interacting.
Right, and that's where the tension comes in because it's like waiting for those two worlds to collide.
I see. And is that what happens?
Well, the play opens with this scene at the Lion Hunters Forum, which is this big plaza in Gweru. It's all fancy, and it was built by the mayor himself, Mayor Sam Kang.
Sounds like a bit of a power move.
Oh, totally. It's like this symbol of his authority and the progress that Gweru has made. But then into this scene walks this young guy named Kosietu Ngondona.
Kosietu Gondoma. Okay, what's his story?
They call him Nkosi for short. He's 18, and he's from the poor side of Gweru. He's come to the forum because he's delivering chicken feed. He's walked like 7 miles carrying this heavy bag.
Wow, so he's really from that other world in Gweru, the one that's struggling to make ends meet?
Yeah, and he's surrounded by all this wealth and opulence, and then he sees her Lady Aphrodite Samkang.
Lady Aphrodite Samkang, the mayor daughter, I'm guessing?
Yep, and the play just like goes all out in describing her beauty like she's absolutely breathtaking.
So it's like love at first sight for Nkosi.
Totally. He completely forgets about the heavy bag he's carrying, the hunger, the thirst, the exhaustion of that long walk through Gweru. It's like the whole world disappears except for her.
And what about Aphrodite? Does she notice him?
And then their eyes meet. And she smiles at him, this like subtle little smile, and then she waves at him.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah, and for Nkosi, it's like his whole world just shatters. It's like he's falling into something he can't even explain. It's this like really intense connection.
And that's when things get complicated.
Oh, yeah, big time. Because this security guard who's standing nearby, he sees Nkosi looking at Aphrodite, and he just like totally mocks him. He's like, "Don't even think about it, mangy dogs. Like, you only touch girls like that in dreams."
Ouch, that's harsh.
Right. And it's this brutal reminder of the gulf that separates them in Gweru. Like, Nkosi is just this poor kid from the wrong side of town, and Aphrodite is the mayor's daughter.
So their love is basically forbidden.
Pretty much. But Nkosi doesn't give up. He starts thinking about her all the time. He walks home repeating her name, wondering if she really saw him. And even though he knows it's impossible, he can't help but hope that maybe, just maybe, he'll see her again.
So what happens next?
Well, Nkosi gets accepted to this really prestigious high school, Chaplain High.
So maybe things are looking up for him. He's got a chance to improve his situation.
Yeah, but even that comes with challenges. His Uncle Ben is totally against it. He thinks Nkosi should just stay in his lane.
But someone must have supported him, right?
Yeah, his Uncle Thomas, he sees Nkosi's potential and he agrees to help him out.
That's great. So Nkosi goes to Chaplain High.
And Chaplain High is like this whole other world. It's super fancy with these huge gates and perfectly manicured lawns. It's like 1,000,000 miles away from Nkosi's neighborhood in Gweru.
So he's a fish out of water.
Totally, and then guess who he sees?
Aphrodite.
Bingo! She's there, surrounded by all these rich kids.
I bet that didn't make things any easier for Nkosi.
Nope. And then there's this scene where he trips in the hallway and all these books spill out and these rich kids start laughing at him.
Oof. Classic high school drama.
But then Aphrodite does something totally unexpected. She helps him pick up his books, and she notices that he's really smart. Like, he understands this really complicated physics equation.
And she's impressed?
Yeah. And then, get this, she invites him to sit next to her.
Wow. Talk about a power move.
Right. All the other kids are, like, totally shocked. And that's kind of the start of their relationship. They start talking under this jacaranda tree on the school grounds. And Aphrodite is really drawn to Ninkosi's intelligence.
So they connect on an intellectual level.
Yeah, and they talk about their dreams, too. Aphrodite wants to be a doctor, but her dad wants you to do something else.
Typical overbearing parent.
Right, and there's this scene in physics class where Ninkosi is explaining the vastness of space, and he uses this example of an old hole-in-the-ground toilet.
An old what?
Yeah, it's like this really relatable image for him because of where he comes from in Gweru, and it just, like, blows everyone's minds.
Including Aphrodite's, I bet.
Totally. She's like, you really are going to touch the stars, aren't you?
So they're falling for each other hard.
Yep. They start studying together and hanging out all the time. And Aphrodite even suggests they get mobile phones so they can talk whenever they want.
It's getting serious.
Yeah. But then things take a turn at the school social.
What happens?
So Nkosi, he's never had alcohol before. And he gets a little bit drunk. And he ends up dancing with this other girl, Sonia.
Oh.
And Aphrodite sees them. And she is furious.
I bet she was.
Oh, yeah. She slaps Nkosi, and then she just, like, blurts out, "You're breaking my heart dancing with that girl like that."
So the truth comes out.
And then Nkosi tells her, "It's you that I'm in love with."
Wow. So they finally confess their feelings for each other.
And then they kiss, and it's like this really intense moment where time just stands still.
But I have a feeling this is not the end of the story.
Definitely not, because this other guy, Cecil Shumba, he sees them kissing, and he's totally jealous. He was hoping to get with Aphrodite himself.
Oh, no.
And he says this really creepy thing. That boy must die a gruesome death one day. She was supposed to be mine.
Yikes. That's a serious threat.
Yeah, and it kind of hangs over their relationship. Even though for a while things seem really good, they're happy, and they're openly defying the social norms of Gweru.
But we know it can't last forever.
Right? Because there's this teacher, Mr. Mashangwe, and he makes this comment about how a star that burns too brightly soon runs out of fuel.
Foreshadowing much.
Totally. And then comes the night that changes everything. Aphrodite invites Nkosi to her family's villa, Leopard's Creek Villa.
While her dad's away, I'm assuming?
Yep. And they spend the night together. And Aphrodite makes this vow to Nkosi. She says, no matter what happens, Nkosi, I'm yours forever.
It's a huge declaration.
It is. But unfortunately, Cecil sees them.
Oh, no. Not again.
And he goes straight to the mayor and tells him everything.
So the secret's out.
And the mayor's absolutely livid. He calls Nkosi all these horrible names: pauper, orphan, stray dog.
Wow. So much for being understanding.
He's totally blinded by his rage and prejudice, and he threatens Nkosi. He says he's going to make sure he's removed from Gweru one way or another.
That's terrifying.
And he actually follows through with his threat. Nkosi gets expelled from school, and everyone turns against him.
Even his own family.
Well, it's complicated. His Uncle Ben surprisingly comes around and accepts the relationship, but Mom Dala, she's really harsh with him.
So Ninkosi is basically all alone.
Almost. But he still has Aphrodite. They find ways to meet in secret through this underground passage.
So their love is still alive despite everything.
Yeah. They're determined to be together.
But I bet the mayor has other plans.
Oh, yeah. He introduces this new guy, Orlando Joshua Musekiwa. Everyone calls him OJ.
And OJ's...
He's the mayor's pick for Aphrodite. He's rich and powerful and from a good family.
So the perfect match, according to the mayor.
Exactly. And then the mayor gives Aphrodite an ultimatum. He tells her to marry OJ or Nkosi will die.
That's awful.
It is. And Aphrodite, she's totally defiant. She says if Nkosi dies, she'll kill herself.
She's not backing down.
Nope. So they have this last desperate meeting, and Aphrodite begs Nkosi to run away, to leave Gweru.
But he doesn't want to leave her?
No, he refuses. And then the mayor's guards show up, and Aphrodite tries to help Nkosi escape. But one of the guards shoots at him.
Oh my God.
And Nkosi runs away. He has to leave Aphrodite behind.
That's heartbreaking.
And that's kind of where we leave them for a while. The play jumps ahead 10 years.
10 years? Wow. So what's happened in that time?
Well, Nkosi is living in England. He's built a new life for himself, but he's never forgotten Aphrodite. He still has all her letters that he's never opened.
He still carry that torch.
And the play actually shares a bit of one of her letters. She writes about how much she misses him and how unhappy she is.
So she's never moved on either.
And eventually, Nkosi decides he has to go back to Gweru. He can't stay away any longer.
Even though it's dangerous.
Yeah, he has this feeling that he needs to see Aphrodite again, even if it means risking his life.
So he goes back to Gweru.
And he goes straight to Leopard's Creek Villa.
And what happens?
He sees Aphrodite again.
after all these years.
It's a really emotional reunion.
I bet.
But then OJ shows up.
Oh, no.
And he's jealous and furious. He sees Nkosi and Aphrodite together, and he just snaps.
What does he do?
He stabs Nkosi.
He kills him.
Yeah. And Aphrodite, she's devastated. She tells Nkosi she loves him, and then she takes the same knife and kills herself.
This is just so tragic.
And it gets worse. OJ, he's overcoming guilt, and he kills himself, too.
Oh, my God.
And then the mayor, he sees everything that's happened, and he has a heart attack and dies.
So everyone's dead.
Yeah, it's this like total Shakespearean tragedy.
Wow.
And the whole play ends with this really powerful scene at the funeral.
The funeral for all of them.
Yeah. There are 4 coffins, Nkosi, Aphrodite, OJ, and the mayor.
And the whole country's watching.
Right, and this Bishop Mangwenda, he gives this really moving eulogy.
What does he say?
He talks about the power of love and the responsibility of leaders and the importance of respecting our children's choices.
Some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, and he says this really powerful line, love is the strongest force in the universe, stronger than wealth, stronger than power, stronger than death itself.
It's a beautiful sentiment.
And he ends by saying, let us not waste their sacrifice. Let us love truly and deeply. Let us be better. Only then can we say that they did not die in vain.
It's a call to action.
Yeah, like what can we learn from this tragedy? How can we prevent something like this from happening again?
It's a question we should all be asking ourselves.
So after hearing all this about the story of the mayor of Gweru, what are your thoughts? What stood out to you?
It's a powerful story, and it really makes you think about the forces that can both uplift and destroy love. The social barriers, the prejudices, the abuse of power, it all played a role in this tragedy.
Definitely. And it makes you wonder what responsibility we each have to create a world where love has a chance to thrive.
Where love can overcome these obstacles, where it's not forbidden or punished, where people are free to choose who they love.
And maybe that's the message we should take away from this story, to be more understanding, to be more compassionate, to fight against injustice.
Yeah, because if we don't learn from this tragedy, then what was it all for?
That's a really powerful thought to leave us with.
It is, and it's something we should all carry with us as we move forward.
Thanks for joining me for this deep dive into the mayor of Gweru.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep loving.
And let's all work together to build a world where love can truly flourish.
Until next time.
Take care.
Aphrodite, to find you, Aphrodite, to find you. But all I have found was a house without a soul, a home without hope. All I found was the vast emptiness of my heart. Nothing, 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 nothing. Oh, oh, oh. Is it possible that I'll never see your face again? Aphrodite, 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 Aphrodite. Where are you? Where are you, my love? If the wind knows it won't speak, where are you? If the sun knows it just won't tell me. Oh, the world just sighs and looks away. Am I destined to never see your face again? To never see your face again? To never see you again? I went back to Gweru to find my love. I went back to Gweru to find you, love. Went back to Gweru to find you, Aphrodite, to find you, Aphrodite, to find you, Aphrodite. But all I found was a house without a impossible that I'll never see you again. Aphrodite, Aphrodite, please, please love me or leave me. Where are you, my love? If the wind knows it won't speak, if the sun knows it just won't tell me. Oh, the world just sighs and looks away. Am I destined to never see your face again? To never see your face again? To never see your face? To never see you again? To never feel alive again? Baby, love me or leave me, or leave me. Why does my soul hold on so tight to something that's gone, to a love that's lost? Where are you? Where are you? Why does my soul hold on so tight to something that's gone, to a love that's lost? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Why does my soul hold on so tight to something that's gone, to a love that's lost? Sometimes I think that I've won the fight, but then I fall back down, and I find myself thinking of you again. Why couldn't you love me, Aphrodite? Why couldn't you love me, Aphrodite? Why couldn't you love me? Why? Why? What's the spell you put on me? Release me from these chains. I'm begging you, please. Release me from these chains. Chains. Release me from these chains. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? The world just sighs and looks away. Aphrodite. Oh, 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 Aphrodite, Aphrodite, release me.